During the construction stages of the 3 media products I created, I used a number of different technologies. First off, to film and photograph all of the footage for my film and other products, I used a camera which could also be used as a video camera. As you can notice, my first draft had many different shots due to the difficulty I had in filming. To film the outside parts of my film, I used a Samsung camera which had a 64MB memory card, which obviously did not hold much footage. As a result, I had to use my iPhone to film the rest, which is why some of the parts are narrower in the draft. I found this hugely inconvenient as there was no way of converting the clips to the same format of that filmed on the camera. Furthermore, my draft grade was much lower than I wanted, so I decided to refilm, where I used a Nikon Coolpix S3100, which had a 8GB memory card. This was much better, as not only the memory card was sufficiently larger, but also the battery life was much more reliable. In order to convert the files to an MP4 format, which I needed for my editing software, I used a website called video.convert.com/convert to MP4, which was really quick and straightforward, allowing me to get on with my editing pretty quickly. The 2 types of editing software I used were iMovie on the Macs and Photoshop, again, which I used on the Macs. I used iMovie to edit together all my footage and put together with the song. I was able to add in suitable transitions such as the fade to black, which I used a lot throughout my video. I had experience of using iMovie as it was used in my foundation portfolio, therefore I was capable of using it to a good standard. Using iMovie allowed me to add in the music throughout editing so that I could perfect the lip syncing, which was critical from start to finish. Contrast to this, I found using Photoshop much harder. During A2 was the first time I'd used Photoshop, and I heavily relied on my friends and classmates to help me to use it, as I found it extremely confusing and time-consuming. Nevertheless, I was able to change around all my images to black and white, and I could add in text where needed. I am pleased with both my Digipack and Advert, as I think they fit the genre well and are representative of the footage from my video to create a synergistic appearance. During GCSE Media Studies, I used a website called Picnic to create and edit most of my production work. However, the site has been removed from the internet. I would, given the option, have preferred to use Picnic. However, as it was not possible, I had to use Photoshop, which in the end had many more professional and better effects and adjustments. In order to upload my video to my blog, I had to put it on YouTube. YouTube is a format of Web 2.0 which has allowed me to let other people view my work and give feedback, which I have earlier discussed. Without YouTube, I would have found it much more difficult to get sufficient feedback to write my evaluation. Throughout the research and planning stages of my coursework, pre- and post-production stages, I have heavily relied on Blogger to present my findings. This type of media technology has been essential for my whole A2 course and has been fairly simple to use. I found it helpful in organising my work, especially because it puts everything into chronological order. Again, I have previous experience using Blogger from my AS production portfolio, so it hasn't taken long to get to grips with it. Secondly, I have embedded many links on my blog from a site called Prezi, which is an online presentation maker. It has allowed me to be more creative in my research into both different genres of Alex Clare. I've used Prezi to show varying levels of creativity, but also because it is a better interactive way of showing my findings. Again, previous experience at AS meant that I have had a solid idea of how everything works, which has helped a lot throughout making the presentations. YouTube has been used a lot during my research stages, as I have already discussed. I was able to watch many different music videos to get inspiration and ideas to use in my video. I have also used many screenshots throughout my work to explain my points, which have all been taken from YouTube, as it has all sorts of information which I have needed. Finally, the media technology I have used in my evaluation is Windows Live Movie Maker. I emailed voice recordings from my iPhone to my Gmail account to then download to use in my evaluation videos. I have edited it to change the pictures whilst I talk to show my explanations. I have found Windows Live Movie Maker easy to use and exactly what I needed to record all of my evaluations.